today with Arunama, award-winning immigration advisor. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And she finally did say my name correctly, which is great.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Well, I've been about 16 years in this industry. I run AIMS Global Immigration. I'm the CEO and a principal licensed immigration advisor. And I also sit on the board of New Zealand Association of Migration Investment, which is the largest body of immigration advisors and lawyers for New Zealand.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we're quite embedded into the New Zealand immigration system.
So we know that New Zealand borders have been closed for more than 18 months, which has put a lot of people's dream to try to migrate to New Zealand on hold. So what do you think that candidates can do at the time being while the borders are closed in order to get ready?
Well, I mean, the borders closed March of last year. And with that, also closed the New Zealand Skilled Migrant Residence Program, which is where a lot of people used to come onto that category, apply for residence. You know, they would get an offer from New Zealand employer, apply for residence and come. Now, that's obviously all closed. Yeah. For those of you that are still aspiring to come to New Zealand, I would strongly suggest that you keep your connections really strong. So make sure you're well connected to, someone like Pitches, make sure you've got your jobs in line, you know how the New Zealand job market works. Also make sure that you have an immigration partner lined up to make sure that as soon as the borders do open, you do get onto the right pathway to come into New Zealand. There's obviously a few things people need to know when they come into a country like New Zealand. It is a different culture. Just making sure that they can use this time to be really prepared. Because I can tell you that as soon as those borders do open, you can expect a flux of people wanting to come in. And if you're not prepared at that time, you will be spending all of that time, once the borders are open, getting prepared, which means you really are going to be left behind the queue. So yeah.
I think there is a lot of homework that they can do to find out which sort of category they could apply for, right? Because there are things like, I remember I came here 5 years ago with the skilled migrant category, which is closed at the moment, but I had to do a lot of homework there. Can you
I can talk to that because all of the homework that you did back then no longer really exists at this moment because the borders are closed. So previously you could apply for a temporary visa, come onto a work visa, come in New Zealand. That doesn't exist because the borders are closed. So what I'm suggesting is that if people can engage, and we have a lot of people that have engaged with us that are sitting, different parts of the world that are getting ready, we can then make sure that we can tell you what is the right category for you. And I'll give you an example of this. So when you came in, I don't know if you came in on a work visa or if you actually just came in after a residence, but people could apply for a visa if they were looking at coming in New Zealand.
Not anymore.
At this stage, you can't even apply for a visa. The only way you can come into New Zealand is through a border exemption, and IT doesn't really qualify for those exemptions, most of the IT roles, unless it's really unique, it's really up there. So the normal classes of visas that we knew that you did all the homework for doesn't exist at the moment. And if people start doing homework about border exemptions, it'll take them many years to gather that information. So that's why I strongly encourage that they engage with the right people, with the professionals, so we can then advise that this is the right pathway for you.
Yeah, no, I think it's changed a lot. I think if I was to do it right now, I would never done it by myself. I would definitely work with you guys because you know the right path and where to go, and
also I think because it changes so frequently. Yes. There's changes and then there's changes on top of changes because this is an evolving space in the border. Yes. It is pretty hard to keep up. So
yeah, awesome. That's really good. So so if you guys would like to know more, you can get in touch with us, and we are always here to help you on your path. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, thank you very much.